What is it that makes a good brainstorm facilitator, and what is it that doesn't? Some people that run sessions do quite well. Some people don't. So I want to spend a few minutes deconstructing what that looks like and what are the qualities or the characteristics of an effective, productive brainstorm facilitator. I'm going to start with the most simplest way of looking at this. A good brainstorm facilitator understands what the word and experience of facilitating means. Facilitate comes from a Latin word, and it actually translates as make easy, to make facile. So a good brainstorm facilitator makes it easy for the people in that room to tap into their own collective genius. By facilitate, I don't mean lead and I don't mean dominate. A facilitator doesn't do that. He just elicits brilliance from others without being overly invasive. A bad brainstorm facilitator, or an ineffective one, has a tendency to dominate the group or the room and to overly lead the session according to his or her own ideas, becomes too present, becomes too invasive. So that's the first step. Another aspect or another characteristic of a good brainstorm facilitator is the balance of the so-called right brain and the so-called left brain, or what's called divergent thinking and convergent thinking. Able to toggle back and forth between the wild and crazy, pushing the envelope, getting off the grid, going out there, and being able to come back and ground things and get organized and get specific. It's easy to err on either side of the spectrum, but a good brainstorm facilitator balances them both. Another characteristic of a good brainstorm facilitator is the ability to establish presence and focus in the room. People often stumble into a brainstorm session overamped, multi-tracking, distracted from whatever came before on that day. A good brainstorm facilitator has the ability to bring people to one point of focus, to get their attention, and then to provide a user-friendly experience where they're encouraged to think out of the box. And while there are a number of other qualities of a good brainstorm facilitator, I'm just going to talk about one more, and that is the ability to read the room. And what I mean that is to tune into the characteristics, the subtle cues, the body language, the facial expressions, and even some of the subtle things that people say to be able to make a left turn, a right turn, to be able to understand what to dive into and what to ignore. Like playing jazz. So a good brainstorm facilitator plays jazz and helps other people play jazz so they can tap into what there is collectively to get that individually they can't get.